Why do we need to learn about measurement to understand cultures? We are always measuring the world. When we feel hungry, we first think about how much food is left. When the sun begins to set, we wonder whether it will be too late if we head home now. Even without a ruler or a scale, we instinctively compare and judge. We judge what is more or less, what is enough or not enough, and what is fast or slow. Measurement began as a language long before civilization. Numbers and units came later as symbols, but human survival has always depended on our ability to compare and judge. But measurement is not only for survival. We measure when we decide how much to sell a house for, and when we choose the length of words in a sentence. We also use measurement to straighten perspective and balance colors in a picture. Again and again, we're measuring what feels just right. We set invisible standards and try to close the gap between ourselves and those standards. If that is what measurement means, then almost everything we do can be understood through it. When we look closely at measurement, how we measure length, area, volume, and weight, we begin to notice culture in unexpected places. Units may seem like neutral numbers, but they hold traces of what a society values, what we are accustomed to, and the kind of life we live. Among those traces, the first thing we notice is our sense of size. It shapes what we see as big, what we consider enough, and which differences we let pass or choose to hold on to. When this sense differs, the same words can sound different, and the same actions can carry different meanings. In ancient China, people created standards such as pitch pipes to tune musical notes. When sound is fixed into a certain length, we can reproduce the same note again and again. That is why the length of the pipe mattered in setting the pitch. Connecting music to length and turning that length into a repeatable standard shows a sense of scale that seeks to build order from the smallest units. What is interesting is how that length was fixed. People turned to something familiar, such as millet, a type of grain. It was something we could hold in our hands, encounter every day, and count with ease. Things like this often become standards. Standards rarely come from far away. They usually grow out of everyday life. It is not surprising that many cultures developed units connected to agriculture. Measures such as the amount of land that could be farmed in a single day, or the size of a field that could grow enough rice to feed one family for a year, reflect a time when land was not simply space, but the foundation of survival and community. Today, we calculate area in square meters, but some societies understood area in terms of labor and time. For those societies, what mattered more than how much land they owned was how many people that land could feed. The gold weights used by the Akan people of West Africa also reflect their culture. Although these weights were tools for trade, people carved animals and other shapes into them and sometimes wore them like ornaments. These figures were not simply decorations, they carried meaning. For example, a leopard figure could represent the proverb, "Rain beats the leopard's skin, but it does not wash out the spots." A tool for measuring weight spoke the message that true nature does not easily change. When a weighing tool holds beliefs and attitudes toward life, measurement becomes more than a skill. It becomes a sentence of culture. The qualities of gold itself also help weave together units and culture. Gold is rare, does not tarnish easily, and is easy to shape, so it has long been treated as something precious. The fact that the letter K, which marks the purity of gold, comes from carat, implies that units are closely tied to the world of trade and commerce. Carat is also said to be linked to the seeds of the carob tree that grows in the Mediterranean and the Middle East. It is very likely that familiar objects in the hands of merchants became standards of measurement. The fairly consistent weight of seeds would have made them especially appealing as a reference point. Stories such as, "When we hold a handful of seeds, there are usually 24, and that is why 24K came to mean pure gold," remind us that the standards we assume were created in precise laboratories may have begun in the everyday feel of a palm. In contrast, industry often begins not with precision, but with bulk. The unit called a barrel is a good example. In the early days of the oil industry, oil was transported in wooden casks, and the barrel used for liquor effectively became the standard for shipping. The name of a tool became the name of a unit. Here, what mattered more than exact accuracy was a single load that could be carried. That was the sense of scale within industrial culture. The gallon offers another revealing clue. Its value varied across time and purpose, and it existed in several forms. For example, a wine gallon and an ale gallon were known to differ in size. When the same name refers to different volumes, it suggests that this culture prioritized the scale of everyday use over abstract uniformity. What was being measured shaped the unit, and the unit, in turn, shaped daily life. In the end, understanding measurement is not about memorizing conversion tables. It's about seeing how a society understood the world in its own sense of scale. It's about understanding what a society regarded as large, where it chose to draw the line, and which differences it examined closely. Units may appear to be just numbers, but they reflect the rhythms and preferences of daily life. That is why we need to learn about measurement to understand cultures. Culture remains not only in words, but also in units.